Hi and welcome to One Week at a Time. My name's Brett Burton. Today I want to talk to you about procrastination. And I just want to quote Peter Drucker here, and if you don't know who Peter is, look him up. But he's written, goodness knows how many business books, over 20 at least. He's worked for large companies such as IBM, General Motors and so on. So he certainly has a bit of credibility in the area of business. But he says procrastination is the thief of time, which I thought was an absolute beauty. But he does go on to say, in your decisions and relationships, your plans and ambitions, keep in mind that the value you receive from anything is in direct proportion to the value you put into it. Unless commitment is made, there is only promise and hopes, but no plans. The best way to predict the future is to create it. That's pretty cool. Look, so the challenge I find with procrastination, and when I'm talking with people about it, is that each time you procrastinate over something, all you're doing is you're reinforcing the reason not to do it. You're making it easier and easier on yourself not to do that thing. So it's really important that you get on with it so that you can get it done. So let's have a look at some of the reasons why we procrastinate, and then we'll have a look at hopefully some remedies. So a couple of reasons why. First of all, fear of the past, fear of past failures. None of us want to fail, and we've talked about this before on One Week at a Time. No one wants to fail, so what we tend to do is we just don't do it. Therefore, it doesn't look so bad on our resume. This time is probably a good time to bring up Thomas Edison. You've probably heard this story hundreds of times in the past, but how many times did he attempt to make a light bulb? I believe it was something like 1,000 odd different times, and eventually he cracked it. But boy, that boy's got some tenacity, hasn't he? So I don't know how many times you would continue to attempt something before you fail, but that certainly was, certainly amazing. But his dream was big enough. He knew he was on the right track. That's why he persisted with it. So, we've got to remove the fear of the past. We've got to rid ourselves of that so that we can move past it. Also, I talked a little bit a few weeks ago about the 4 steps of learning. And I talked about the area of, the second ladder there, where you're conscious of what you should be doing, but you're incompetent still. And the problem with that is, that's the area where when we're trying to learn something new, a new task, there's a whole bunch of confusion going on. And if we're not careful, our self-confidence can take a bit of a beating there, because if we fail a few times at doing it, eventually, once again, we go, oh, blow it, I don't want to continue because of failure. And we jump off the bus and stop learning whatever that new activity is. So there's another reason why we might procrastinate. We might procrastinate getting back on the bus and then taking off again. So there's a couple of reasons why. Let's have a look at some of the solutions. So the first thing we need to do, though, before we even look at the solutions, is admit that we have an issue. All right, if you're continually putting things off and it's part of what you do, then you've got to first of all say, yep, I definitely have an issue. Accept it, because without that, you're not going to have any energy to commit to resolving the issue. So once you've decided, yep, I need to fix this thing, here's a couple of things, not in any list or so, or, any order, priority, but a few things that you can do to help. The first thing is you need to make sure that you're writing a list at the end of every day. So in the late afternoon or evening, make sure you've got a list so that when you start the next morning, you know exactly what you need to be doing. It gets you started. If you get started in the morning, you'll find you'll have a much more productive day. If you put things off early, then the whole day will be like that. Go back and have a look at Frogs and Rewards, which was a 1 week at a time that I did not so long ago, which talks about that. Some other things you might want to do. If it's a big project that you're procrastinating about, break it down into small bits and chunks so that you can actually get those things done. That's what we do in our 90-day planning. That's why we get terrific results with our clients, because every quarter we're sitting down with our clients and we're putting their 90-day plan together so that we can work with them weekly to get all of those things done so they make major achievements at the end of each 90 days. So that's another thing you can do. What else? Make sure you have a default diary. I've talked about that before. We have a lot of information on our website at actionvictoria.com.au. Under the tools section, you can go there and grab that information. And please do that. The one touch principle is also a really good way of removing procrastination out of your life. But be very careful with this one because it has to be utilized with your default diary. I'm not going to go into that today, but if you want some more information on that, give me a yell and we'll go through that with you. Now, one of the challenges that people will go, look, they're all great solutions, but I don't even write the list. I procrastinate about that. Then what you need to do is get yourself a bigger dream. Get yourself a bigger goal, because right at the moment what it is not inspiring you enough to actually get on with it. So you need to perhaps sit down and get some clarity about what it is that you're trying to achieve, so that it inspires you enough to be able to at least get started in doing some of these things. Also, we've got to stop using the excuse, I don't have enough time. Okay, it's an easy one, I get, and we're all guilty of using it, I'm sure. But remove it out of your life, because the fact is, we all know that there's no one in this world that has more time than you do. We all have the same, okay? We all have that 24 hours. It's amazing what can be achieved in 24 hours if we start the day, really proactive. So make sure, get that out of your life. And the thing I want to leave you is remember this. If you kill time, it's still murder, okay? So, have a great week, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye for now.